Hi all, today we are going to see the derivation for restriking voltage and the rate of rise of the restriking voltage. So let us start with the derivation for the restriking voltage. We have seen in the last class, if you take your circuit will have the inductance as well as a resistance. This is a series parameter. This inductance include the inductance of your synchronous machine plus the inductance of your transmission line up to the circuit breaker contacts, and R indicates the resistance of your line plus machine up to that point, and C indicates the effective value of the capacitance up to that point from the conductor to ground. So that is the value of C. So practically the value of R is far less than L, so we can neglect the effect of R for the analysis so that it will be easy. So we have seen in the last class, at natural current 0 the arc will be extinguished, and whenever the arc is extinguished, so this is my arc voltage, when the arc is extinguished across the contacts, your normal supply voltage should come, because we know the circuit is nearly purely inductive, because at the time of fault, because this capacitor is short circuited, so only element is L and R, because R is very less, so that means it is purely inductive. So that's why I am taking as 90 degrees. So actual voltage that should reach is this one, which is called as the active recovery voltage. But due to this effect of this L and C, we have seen in the last class that it creates the oscillations. Because of that, the higher frequency oscillations will come, that will superimpose on your supply frequency voltage. So as a result of this, the oscillations comes, and because of the effect of this resistance, the oscillations will die out at a faster rate, and finally it will come to the steady state value. So now we are going to derive what is the derivation for this restriking voltage, because the value of the instantaneous value of the voltage after the arc extension is called as a restriking voltage, and it is also sometimes called as transient recovery voltage, because nowadays they are not using the term restriking voltage. Now if you see the nameplate of any circuit breaker, it will be mentioned as TRV, which stands for transient recovery voltage. That means it is a recovery voltage which is a transient value. Later on the transients will die out, and finally only your recovery voltage will be remaining. Getting it? So it is a sum of the active recovery voltage plus the oscillations, whatever comes. So let us try to derive the equation for this. So for deriving this one, I am drawing the equivalent circuit in terms of the Laplace domain. So this will be our S domain. So this will be equal to, so let us assume this V maximum. So I am just representing by EM. So let us represent it as EM divided by S. This is the Laplace transform equivalent. Similarly, that inductor will be represented by LS, and the capacitor will be represented by 1 by CS. So this you have already studied in network theory. So that's why I am not going into detail of this transforms. So if you need about the Laplace transform or other basics, you can let me know in the comments. So I will try to explain or teach the Laplace transform also as part of basic electrical engineering. So now at your circuit breaker contact, you can see one is connected to the terminal of C, and the second side is connected to second terminal of the C. Agree with me? So the voltage across this circuit breaker I can represent as VC of S. So this is my voltage across your circuit breaker contacts. Getting this one? So I can derive the value of this VC of S will be equal to the current that is passing up to that point multiplied by the impedance that gives the value. So we can calculate, because of this circuit, what is the value of the current that is passing. The current is passing here. This current multiplied by the impedance across this capacitor. So that gives the value of voltage across the capacitor or voltage across your circuit breaker. Agree with me? So this one I can calculate by EM divided by S multiplied by the, we have to divide with the impedance. So impedance will be series LC circuit is there. This will be equal to SL plus 1 by SC. That means I have divided by voltage divided by impedance, that give my current. So this one multiplied by impedance of your capacitor circuit, so this will become 1 by CS. So when you multiply with this one, this gives the value of VCS. So this I can simplify. This value will be equal to E maximum by S into 1 by S square LC plus 1. Agree with me? I have just simplified this one. So this I can further simplify it. So this will become equal to E maximum divided by, I am taking LC common and the remaining terms I am taking inside. So this will become S multiplied by S square plus 1 by LC. I have taken LC common to the outside. Or this I can further simplify. So this I can write as E maximum divided by, so this 1 by root LC I am taking as omega n. 1 by root LC I am taking as omega n. So this LC I can write as 1 by omega n square, agree with me? So this I can write as omega n square. So this is called as a natural frequency oscillation. So why it is like that, I am going to prove it. So next this will be S multiplied by S square plus omega n square. This is the value we got. So this can be further simplified. So this I can write as omega n multiplied by E maximum value, because E maximum by 1 by omega n, I have taken omega n here, and the remaining omega n I have taken inside. This will become omega n divided by S into S square plus omega n square. This is what we get. So this value is equal to Vc of S. So now what I am doing, I am just applying inverse Laplace transform. So when you apply the inverse Laplace transform, so we will get the value of this Vc of t. That means voltage across your circuit breaker with change in the time. This will be equal to omega n multiplied by Em. This internal term, this term will be integration from 0 to t sin omega nt. Omega nt dt will be there. Sin of omega nt dt will be there. This is what we get. Or if you are doing the integration between 0 to t for this one, so this will become equal to omega n into E maximum into, so this will become minus cos omega nt divided by omega n. Integration of sin omega nt will be cos omega nt divided by omega n. This you already know the integration. So this is from 0 to t. Or if you substitute this value, you will get this as E maximum into 1 minus cos omega nt. So this is my value of the voltage across the contacts of your circuit breaker, where the value of omega n is equal to 1 by root LC. So this is called as the natural frequency of oscillations. So now you can see the value of Vc of t, this will be maximum when this internal term is equal to maximum. So what is the maximum value that can be obtained? Because the cosine value varies from -1 to +1, you agree with me? So when this value is equal to -1, so 1 minus of -1, that gives the value 2. That means when this internal cos omega nt is equal to -1, your Vc will become equal to 2 times of the maximum voltage. So we can tell that the value of Vc maximum will be equal to 2 times of E maximum. So this happens when the value of cos omega nt is equal to -1, or we can tell this cos omega nt will be equal to -1 when omega nt is equal to 180 degrees, you agree with me? So we can tell that this omega nt will be equal to pi, or from this we can tell that t is equal to pi by omega n, where omega n is the natural frequency of oscillations. Or from this I can derive this value as t is equal to pi into omega n is equal to 1 by root LC, so this will become pi root LC. And this omega n is equal to, we can write as 2 pi fn, or from this I can write fn will be equal to omega n divided by 2 pi, or this will be equal to 1 by 2 pi root LC. This is the natural frequency of oscillations of your circuit. So it will oscillate at this frequency. So this frequency component will be superimposed on your supply frequency. As a result of this, your resultant value of the voltage will become equal to 2 times of E maximum value, or 2 times what is the value of the voltage, or what is the recovery value of the voltage. So at the instant of the arc extension, it will become 2 times the value of that voltage. That much value will be superimposed. Now getting it? So let us proceed further. Let us see the characteristics of the restriking voltage, or it is also called as transient recovery voltage. So there are 2 factors will be there. First one is the amplitude factor. So it is a ratio of peak of the transient voltage to the peak of your system frequency voltage. So in our example, in this case, we are getting it as 2 because it is reaching up to 2 times the value. Agree with me? That is called as the amplitude factor. And the next one is the rate of rise of restriking voltage. So the name itself is telling rate of rise, because how much fast this restriking voltage is coming. Because if your dielectric strength buildup is not fast when compared to the rate of rise of this restriking voltage, then automatically the arc will restrike back. This we have already discussed in our previous lectures. So you have to remove the heat also, and you have to build up the dielectric strength in such a way that the dielectric strength will be greater than the rate of rise of restriking voltage. So that's why it is required. So it is defined as the slope of the steepest tangent to the restriking voltage curve. Whatever the restriking voltage curve is coming, that steepest tangent of that curve is called as the rate of rise of restriking voltage, which is given in volts per microsecond. In 1 microsecond, how much voltage rise is there. So for the case of restriking voltage having single frequency transients. So what is single frequency transient? What is double frequency transients? I am going to discuss today only in the next section. So this RRRV is obtained by dividing the maximum amplitude of the oscillation by the duration of the first half of the wave. We know that what is the maximum amplitude of the oscillation is there, divided by, you have to know that what is the duration of first half of this oscillation. So that means whatever is the time period of your natural frequency of oscillation divided by 2. So that is the time for half of the wave, you just divide with half of the wave. This is one way to calculate. Another way is we can derive also. So let us try to make the derivation and then we will make the conclusion. So for making the derivation, we have already derived the value of Vc of t. I am going to use that equation. So Vc of t, we got this value as E maximum into 1 minus cos omega n into t. Agree with me? Where the value of omega n is equal to 1 by root LC. So this we have already derived. So now I want the rate of rise of restriking voltage. So I want to calculate RRRV will be equal to rate at which this restriking voltage is changing. So this is nothing but d by dt of Vc of t. Agree with me? The rate at which this is changing, that is called as RRRV. So this we divide with d by dt of this one. When you write the d by dt of this one, so this will become d by dt of 1 E maximum into 1 minus cos omega nt. Agree with me? So this is the value we have to calculate. So when you calculate this one, this will become equal to E maximum into d by dt of 1 will become 0, d by dt of cos omega nt will become minus sin omega nt, minus minus becomes plus, and d by dt of omega nt becomes omega n. So this becomes E maximum into omega n into sin of omega n into t. This is the value we get. This is my RRRV. So what is the maximum value of this RRRV? So maximum value of this rate of rise of restriking voltage will be equal to E maximum into omega n. You agree with me? This is nothing but E maximum multiplied by omega n. Omega n means 1 by root LC. So maximum value will be equal to E maximum by root LC. That is the maximum value that comes. And when it happens, when the value of this sin omega nt is equal to 1. So when this will happen, this omega nt is equal to pi by 2. You agree with me? So at this omega nt will be equal to pi by 2, or we can calculate that t is equal to pi by 2 times of omega n. This will be equal to omega n is equal to 1 by root LC. So this will become root LC into pi divided by 2. At this instant it comes. So now the restriking voltage will become maximum, because if you are plotting the value of the restriking voltage, how this comes, the restriking voltage curve will come like this. So this will be there, the oscillations are there, and gradually the oscillations dies out. So it reaches the maximum value here. So this is reaching the maximum value, and after that it is going on dying. I have only plotted the value of the transient value of the voltage, not the combined value, because on your supply frequency this E maximum value is superimposed, so it reaches 2 times of E maximum at the first half cycle. So at this point it reaches the maximum value. At that place that slope will be equal to 0. So let us assume the what is the time to reach the maximum value of your restriking voltage. So in order to reach the maximum value of the restriking voltage, so this is my value of, so this dVc of t divided by dt is equal to 0. At maximum value, the slope will be equal to 0. So this is my value of the Vc, how the Vc is changing with respect to time. So dVc by dt will be equal to 0 at this instant, you agree with me? Or this dVc by dt is equal to 0. So that dVc by dt what we calculated, make it equal to 0. When it will be equal to 0? At omega t is equal to pi. At this instant, this dVc by dt is equal to 0. Or if you calculate the time of this one, so the time at this point if you calculate, you will get it as pi root LC. So at the time is equal to pi root LC, this will reach the maximum value. Getting it? So to understand, because here some confusions may be there, that different formulas are coming and different things are coming, how to remember them and how to solve the numericals. So to avoid that problem, so next class I will take 2-3 numericals which will cover the restriking voltage and rate of rise of restriking voltage also, so that your complete doubts will be clarified. So this lecture, my major concern is to complete the concepts. So there are basically two types of the restriking voltages. Actually thing is, till now we have seen the case that when the circuit breaker is there, fault happens, only one side there is LC circuit. That means the fault has happened near to the circuit breaker only. But practically we know fault never happens near to the circuit breaker, because circuit breaker will be at the bus bar and fault will never happen near to the bus bar. It can happen anywhere in the transmission line. So that's why this is not practical, because one more case is also possible. So let us see both the cases depending on where the fault comes. The first one is called as a single frequency restriking transients. This comes when the fault happens near to your circuit breaker. Only one LC circuit is there, and we have already derived how the frequency of oscillations will come and hide the diode. So this will be the waveform, and generally this frequency of oscillations will be varying from 1 kHz to 10 kHz. But practically, if the fault happens somewhere far away from the circuit breaker, and when the circuit breaker is opened, there are two circuits. So one LC circuit is with the supply, and this is one LC circuit. There is another LC circuit which is consisting of the capacitance of a line plus the inductance up to the fault and the fault resistance and other parameters, because these parameters will also add. So this is my second component, this is my first component. So now two series LC circuits are there, because both will oscillate at different natural frequencies. So now if you want to calculate the voltage across the circuit breaker contacts, that means the voltage across these two, so this I can write as VAB, voltage between the circuit breaker contacts, will have, because this is oscillating at different frequency, this is oscillating at different frequency. So here the difference of those two components will be superimposed across your circuit breaker. So practically if you see the waveform, how the waveform will come, at the natural current 0, it should reach this value and the oscillation should die out like as shown before. So actually oscillation should come like this. But because of this double frequency oscillations, because two natural frequencies are there, so the curve will vary like this and gradually they will die out. That means disturbance will be much more severe when compared to what disturbance we got for the case of single frequency oscillations. But analyzing this double frequency oscillations is difficult, so that's why generally we simplify the value and calculate the single frequency oscillations only. So I hope everything is clear up to now. So next class we will take 2-3 numericals to clarify the concept of restriking voltage and rate of rise of restriking voltage, and after that we will see what are the different factors that affects the rate of rise of restriking voltage, how to decrease this effect of this rate of rise of restriking voltage, or how to decrease the effect on the circuit breaker. So that we are going to see in the next class. So I hope everything is clear up to now. If you still have any queries, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. I will answer to your queries from there. Thank you very much.